And bombshell new footage has emerged today of Sir Keir admitting he'd cozy up with the EU if he got into power. Watch this.
Most of the conflict with the UK being outside of the UK arises insofar as the UK wants to diverge and do different things to the rest of our EU partners. Obviously, the more we share values, the more we share a future together, the less the conflict. And actually, different ways of solving problems become available, you know.
So, Widdy, no wonder this bloke didn't want that clip getting out, because it's taken quite a few days. He thought it was going to stay secret, because what is the point of Brexit? What is the point of Brexit if we don't want to diverge from the EU? Is he not preparing for a betrayal of the 17.4 million of us who voted to leave?
Well, that's exactly what he's doing, and it's quite obvious from that clip. I've always said there are two ways of going back into Europe. One is to actually seek formal readmission, which would cost us far too much, and we're never going to do. But the second is just simply to align ourselves more and more with them, accept vast tranches of their law, which is we got Brexit in order to get away from that. Accept free movement of labour, we got Brexit to get away from that. They can do all those things without actually formally rejoining. And that is obviously Starmer's agenda. Now, if you add that to his agenda on climate change, when he's quite clear that he will reverse some of Rishi Sunak's quite proportionate measures, then I think he might find that he's got a problem in the polls.
Widdy, what's all of this about Tony Blair weighing in and setting up the meeting between Sir Keir and Macron?
Oh, Tony Blair thinks he's still a major player on the world stage, that he still manipulates everything. And Keir Starmer is playing into that. Instead of saying to him, go away, mind your own business, I'm the leader of the Labour Party, now he says, yes, Tony, no, Tony, 3 bags full, Tony, and thinks that's going to make him popular. And it ain't.
And Widdy's war on woke time now, because you're really angry at the General Medical Council, who have got rid of the word mother and references from women from its staff maternity policy. So, Anne, is it true that you're now publicly saying that you are proud to be labelled a TERF?
Well, I'm saying that if that makes me a TERF, then I'll wear the label with pride. I think it's a very stupid label, but if that's what they wanted to say, then if that simply means that I think a woman is a woman, a man is a man, that they are not interchangeable, and for heaven's sake, to remove the word mother from maternity guidance. I mean, where does the word maternity come from? The Latin mater. What does that mean? Mother. You'd think the GMC might know that. They're supposed to be educated.
I know, I think increasingly, because the thing is, when you actually break down what TERF means, you know, it's a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. Actually, I don't think it should be taken as a slur. I've said for some time, and I've said it on the show, if people want to call me a TERF, I do not find that offensive, because to me, it means that I'm standing up for the rights of biological women. I would also point out, Anne, and I think this is very important, it does not mean that we want to degrade trans people in any way.
No, it simply means that a man can't become a woman just by saying he is a woman. And vice versa, a woman can't become a man that way. Men and women are constructed completely differently biologically. And even if they go through all the very painful and very long procedures to take as much as they can towards becoming a member of the other sex, the fact is that if you have a male appendage added, you haven't grown it. It isn't there naturally. You still then have one. Sorry.
So you're saying that in any form of medical setting, it is absolutely critical that we stick to biological, scientifically correct language?
Yes, I mean, I am quite prepared, as I think most people are, to accept that there is a very small number of people who do have gender dysphoria and they want to live as a member of the opposite sex, and there's a very small number of them, and that's perfectly fair, and they should be allowed to do so. But now that we've expanded that to say that anybody can just self-identify as a cat, a dog, or, you know, whatever it might be, we're going down the road to absolute nonsense, and nonsense, bedlam, chaos, That's where we're heading. Now, Rishi Sunak has at last, when he addressed climate change, used a word that I've been longing to hear come out of the government, which is the word proportionate. Now,
Yes.
what is proportionate about the trans agenda?
Yeah, indeed. Look, both sides of the story here on GB News, though, and the GMC told us in a statement we have clearly titled maternity, paternity and adoption policies for our staff, which we review regularly. Former Tory Minister Dan Widdecombe, thank you so much. We'll speak next week.